Welcome to a world where technology has evolved beyond control, where robots once served humanity, then rebelled, and now live in the shadows of war. The Electric State follows a brave teenage girl on a desperate mission to rescue her brother, whose mind has been trapped inside a robot. As she journeys through a desolate America filled with drone warfare, rogue machines, and a collapsing virtual network, the lines between memory, identity, and freedom blur. The movie begins in the year 1990 in a futuristic America dominated by robotic technology. A bright young girl named Michelle watches her older brother, Christopher, effortlessly solve complex math problems at school, impressing everyone around. As they leave the building, Christopher accidentally bumps into a man who mocks the small robot image on his shirt. Michelle quickly intervenes and pulls Christopher away. Though gifted, Christopher feels unsure about going to college, but Michelle supports him and encourages him to move forward. Meanwhile, Ethan Skate, the founder of Centra Technology, appears in a televised interview. He boldly claims that robots are not essential to society and admits he has never trusted them. As he speaks, the film gives a historical overview of how robots emerged. It all started in 1955 with Walt Disney's creation of animatronic robots for theme parks. Their utility evolved rapidly, spreading into the workforce across the globe. But as decades passed, the robots grew tired of their controlled existence and began demanding independence. A charismatic robot named Peanut became the face of a rebellion. A massive uprising followed, leading to a war between robots and humans. For 2 years, the war dragged on without a clear winner until Ethan Skate introduced the Neurocaster, a revolutionary device that let humans control drones by syncing their consciousness. This tipped the balance and allowed humanity to win. In the aftermath, a restricted zone in the American Southwest was created and named X to prevent further robot rebellions. In 1994, Michelle is living in a foster home run by Ted. She struggles to remove a tracker on her ankle. Before she can make progress, Ted's drone appears and orders her to do chores. Frustrated, Michelle refuses and heads to school. There, she declines to wear a Neurocaster during class and is sent to the principal. Shockingly, the school records claim she died in a car accident. The principal suggests that using a Neurocaster might help recover her memories, but when her brother is mentioned, she becomes disturbed and leaves. That night, Michelle has a strange dream about her past and wakes up suddenly. She senses movement outside and, upon investigation, finds a robot near the house. Frightened, she hides, but the robot locates her. Instead of attacking, it gestures, trying to communicate. Michelle realizes the robot is malfunctioning and tries to repair it. When she asks for its identity, the robot claims to be her brother. She is stunned and refuses to believe it, pushing the robot away and causing a commotion that wakes Ted. Seeing the robot, Ted panics robots are banned. He demands Michelle get rid of it and violently throws her aside. The robot fights back. In the chaos, Ted tries to call the police, but Michelle tasers him. She and the robot escape in a stolen car, with the robot helping her remove the tracker. They arrive at a deserted robot graveyard. Michelle demands answers, and the robot reveals that her brother's body was lost in the accident, but his mind survived and was transferred into a robotic form. To prove it, the robot shares a vision of Christopher in a lab and mentions a doctor with glasses who might help. Michelle recalls fragments from her past and becomes determined to find this doctor. The robot explains the doctor is inside the exclusion zone. To get there, they seek out a smuggler known for crossing into Zone X. They head to New Mexico and locate the smuggler, Keats, who is in the middle of a shady deal. When the buyer turns violent, Keats signals his robot companion, Herman, who takes down the threat. While Keats and Herman dispose of the attacker, Michelle and her brother sneak into the truck's cargo hold. Keats and Herman unknowingly transport them to a hidden base. When they discover the stowaways, Michelle quickly explains their mission. Keats warns that the exclusion zone is extremely dangerous. Before they can talk more, Keats notices they're being followed. Marshall's drone is on their trail. Suspicious, Keats prepares for a confrontation. The drone soon attacks. A fierce firefight follows. During the struggle, Marshall tries to eliminate a captured robot, but Michelle rams him with a vehicle, allowing the group to escape. They press on, deeper into hostile territory, crawling with scavenger robots. Forced to hide, they regroup and decide to head for Tabletop Mountain at the edge of the exclusion zone, hoping to find safety. Herman upgrades himself into a heavy transport robot and carries the group in a van. During the journey, Keats reveals his backstory. Herman saved his life during the war, and ever since, they've been on the run together. Meanwhile, Ethan Skate at Centra Technology learns a terrible truth: the Neurocaster network is failing. The connection linking humans to drone bodies is degrading. Christopher's full consciousness is now inside the robot, which broke the original link. Ethan realizes that without Christopher, the entire system could collapse. He sends Marshall to hunt him down at all costs. Michelle's group arrives at Tabletop Mountain, but is captured by resident robots who mistake them for enemies. Inside their compound, they meet the robot leader, Mr. Peanuts. Michelle asks about the doctor. Peanuts says he can escort them 10 miles into Zone X, but won't get involved further. Michelle tries to explain why they need help and why her brother is so important, but Peanuts remains reluctant. Later, Michelle reflects on memories with her brother. To lift her spirits, her robotic brother plays a childhood cartoon they used to love. The moment comforts her. That night, a robot mail carrier named Penny Pal delivers a letter from the doctor. Keats reads it and realizes they'll need heavy weaponry to reach him. Peanuts suggests they take a battle robot instead of humans. The next day, the group sets off but is ambushed by scavenger bots and taken to a hidden chamber where they finally meet the doctor. He reveals that Christopher was humanity's last hope during the war. Centra Technology used his brain to stabilize the Neurocaster system. If they hadn't done this, Christopher would have died after the car crash. One day, he woke up again, but Ethan refused to disconnect him. The doctor, horrified by the situation, fled and secretly built a way for Christopher to escape mentally. Michelle, overwhelmed by grief and fury, demands answers and justice from the doctor who had once claimed to be helping her brother. Her voice trembles with anger as she confronts him, her fists clenched, her emotions boiling over. Keats quickly steps in, trying to calm her down before the situation spirals further out of control. Without a word, he pulls back and delivers a hard punch to the doctor, knocking him to the floor. The room falls into tense silence until an ominous hum breaks through. Suddenly, Marshall's drone breaches the hidden lab's defenses, storming into the room with aggressive force. The air fills with sparks and the metallic sound of whirring limbs as chaos erupts. Peanuts, the charismatic rebel robot leader, wastes no time. He rushes forward, shielding the others and bravely engaging the attackers. His priority is clear: give the group a chance to escape. Using his strength and tactical skill, Peanuts holds off the drones, buying precious time. Outside the lab, an all-out battle ignites. Centra drones clash with the remaining rebel robots. The clash is brutal metal against metal, circuitry burning, and explosions lighting up the dusk. Despite their courage and coordination, the robots are outnumbered and outgunned. Amid the confusion and the fading smoke of battle, Marshall seizes his opportunity. Cold and calculated, he kills the doctor who had once protected Christopher. Then, without hesitation, he apprehends Christopher's robotic body. As he secures the machine, Marshall announces that the robots have violated the peace treaty, a justification for launching a full-scale assault. Almost instantly, Centra unleashes a massive retaliation. Drones rain down upon Tabletop Mountain, reducing the once thriving robot haven to wreckage. Fires rage. Metal corpses litter the ground. The robotic community is left devastated. At the high-security Centra Center, Christopher is brought back under tight control. His robotic body is forced into a containment chamber where his consciousness is reconnected to his original human brain. The process is invasive and painful. Within the dim, sterile confines of the facility, Marshall confronts Ethan Skate, questioning the morality of what they've done. Ethan, ever the pragmatist, remains unmoved. He brushes aside concerns, fully committed to keeping the Neurocaster network alive, even if it means destroying what remains of Christopher's identity. Meanwhile, back among the ruins of Tabletop Mountain, Michelle stands amidst fallen allies, her face marked by ash and sorrow. She turns to the PC robot with fierce determination, demanding to know the exact location of the Centra Center. Time is running out, and she is no longer willing to wait. With assistance from the surviving robots and Keats at her side, they mobilize for a final mission. Herman, the large HRM unit, prepares for battle. He charges toward the Centra facility, using his immense strength to hurl vehicles and debris at the building's perimeter, creating chaos and distraction. Just as Ethan closes in, Marshall enters the chamber. Weapons ready, he seems prepared to finish the job, but Peanuts intervenes once again. Despite his injuries, he confronts Marshall directly, urging him to reconsider. He appeals not with threats, but with compassion, asking him to see the cost of this endless violence. For a long, tense moment, Marshall remains silent. Then, finally, he lowers his weapon. He turns and walks away, unwilling to continue spilling blood for a mission that has lost all meaning. With Ethan momentarily distracted, Michelle makes a critical decision. She dons a Neurocaster headset and enters the virtual world, a digitized space where Christopher's consciousness still lingers. Inside, she finds him adrift and withdrawn. Convinced that his existence no longer serves a purpose, Michelle pleads with him, begging him to come back to fight for his life and reclaim his freedom. But Christopher is consumed by despair. He tells her he's tired, that he doesn't belong in either world anymore. Seeing the pain in his voice and the weight of his suffering, Michelle realizes what she must do. With trembling hands, she says goodbye to her brother one final time. She reaches for the controls and shuts down the Neurocaster network. In an instant, the entire drone army collapses. Machines fall from the sky. Centra's grasp on power is shattered. The war is over. In the aftermath, the surviving robots rally around Peanuts, who manages to restrain Ethan and ensure he is taken into custody. Justice at last is served. Michelle, her voice broadcast across airwaves and networks, sends a message to the world. The era of control is over. The time has come for peace, for unity between humans and machines, a new beginning shaped by understanding and equality. And then, a quiet moment. Christopher awakens, not in the frail body he once knew, but inside the robot he had chosen as his own. His memories, his essence, everything that made him who he is has survived. He is no longer a weapon, no longer a prisoner. At last, he is free to live as himself, in a world finally ready to change.